All right, guys, welcome back. Welcome back. We are back with Kelly Ann WINGET of Alternative Wealth Partners, LLC. And she was just telling us about her amazing plan. She's buying a house with her girlfriend. And but she was telling us about her business and how she got into this. How did you actually get into this career path?
I am really good at Excel. I was hired by an oil and gas company back in 2013. And if you're familiar with the space, the oil was crazy, to build out a bunch of reporting tools for their sales team. So that was kind of my first introduction into this whole wild world of private investing and private placements, alternatives, things like that. So the oil prices started going crazy, and I was like, something's about to happen, and I'm going to go do something else. And I took an opportunity in California to stay on the marketing side for private placements. So I took a job, moved to California, lived in beautiful Newport Beach for 4 years. And during that time, I'm young, so I was innovative in the way that people do marketing in this space. And so I left the company that hired me out there and started my own, and worked with companies raising capital from oil and gas, real estate, tech startups, cannabis, medical devices, anything anyone's raising money for, I was working on, which brought me back to Texas. Yeah.
I was just going to say, that's amazing. And I love a power lesbian that gets shit done. So thank you for representing.
Yes, there's not a whole lot of us in this space at all, actually. And if you are gay, you don't talk about it.
Right. And I was going to say, it seems like, oil and gas has got to be not only male dominated, but very hetero, I would guess.
I am always the youngest girl and probably the only gay one in a room in my industry.
And which one has affected you more, would I say, or maybe I don't want to say hindered you, but has been, something people have used against you? Has it been your age, or has it been that you're a female or lesbian or anything like that?
I think that a lot of people just kind of ignore your sexual or your gender identity, especially when people are like 65, 75 years old. They just are blind to it. It's just something they don't see or recognize. So, and also it's kind of, you don't talk about your personal life necessarily, unless you are talking to somebody who's older and they want to know if you're married and have children. But
yeah. And when I think of the oil and gas industry, I think of like Boss Hogg and the Dukes of Hazzards, and the Texas oil tycoon with the 50-gallon heads, like, oh God, our nations. I mean, that's what I think of, but it's a little bit more sophisticated than that. Oh, it is real.
No, that is real in Texas, especially in Texas. I mean, you will walk into a room and half the people are in 10-gallon hats and talking nonsense. You're like, okay, buddy.
And there's a whole, what's crazy is there's a whole industry, but behind oil and gas, with all the different sprockets and machinery and all that fun stuff that goes with it too. But so how did you go from there to starting your own business, and what got you to the point where you were eventually able to open up Alternative Wealth Partners?
So I have raised over $500 million in private capital. So, and that's from individuals. It's outside of the institutional side. So when people hear $500 million, they're thinking, oh, family offices that are putting in 10, 20, $50 million into something. No, I work one-on-one with investors, and we're talking about amounts 50 to maybe $250,000 into a single investment, which takes a long time to get to $500 million. So through that experience and talking to investors, and probably in the last 3 years, I've become more intimate with the actual investor than the companies raising capital, because I was a consultant on the marketing side and have flipped over to more on the educational side of, where do you find these types of opportunities, because investors want it. And from that experience, I learned that investors are clueless first of all, and to these types of things. I only work in the alternative space. So these are things you will never find on the stock market. You won't be Facebook advertised about it. And unless somebody invites you into the room, you'll never be able to invest. So
yeah, and I was gonna say, speaking of clueless, I know myself and probably a lot of listeners and watchers are probably like, I mean, how these numbers seem outrageous. Like this is like, investing maybe is out of my range, but really it is approachable to everybody. They just have to be on the right path to invest and do those things. Well, I know we have to take another quick 1 minute break. And when we come back, I want to talk to everybody and talk to you about how people can plan for their future. A lot of gay men, we have a lot of, well, not just gay men, gay women, and part of the whole LGBTQAI plus, community has a lot of disposable income. And so, how do we invest that to have that income work for us? So we'll find out all that information. We're going to go to a quick 1 minute break, and we'll be right back with Kelly and WINGET. And we'll be right back right after this 1 minute break.
Hi there, I'm Maylin Luke, owner of RustingPlantFace.com. I create hand-poured and hand-painted concrete planters and unique home goods in a variety of styles, colors, and also do custom orders. Just visit RustingPlantFace.com and use code OOTC to get free shipping on your order. Visit me on Instagram at RustingPlantFace for plant tips and tricks. Plant parents and aspiring plant parents are welcome.
Hello to all my Out of the Closet podcast family. I don't want to beg and I don't want to come off as needy, but the Out of the Closet podcast only exists because of listeners like you, and I really need your support. Any financial support you can do would be amazing and greatly appreciated. Whether it's $5, an ongoing monthly contribution, or if you just want to hand over your total inheritance and put me in the will, that's fine too. Anyway, it's really easy to do. Just go to outoftheclosetpodcast.com and click the support tab. Thank you so much for supporting the Out of the Closet podcast.